The dash doesn't lie. Born 1955. Died 2026. And between those two numbers, one small mark. That mark is everything you ever did. Lindsey Graham just got his dash. Let's read it. This past Saturday night, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina died. He was 71 years old. According to medical authorities, his aorta gave out. Sudden, no warning. He had just flown back from Kyiv. He was booked on Sunday television. He died mid-stride, doing the job he'd done for more than 30 years. Listen, we don't dance on graves here. Understand that right now. But when a public man dies, his record becomes public property. That's the deal. You spend 50 years asking for our trust, our votes, and our children for your wars, we get to read that dash. Marcus Aurelius wrote it 18 centuries ago. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think. Graham left life right now, Saturday night, between dinner and a talk show. So the question this channel exists to ask is, was the dash worthy? Not was he nice, not was he ours. Was it worthy? Hold that question. Here comes the record. Here's what's true, and we say it plainly. Lindsey Graham, he came from nothing, from Central South Carolina. His parents ran a bar with a pool hall in the back. Both of them died within months of each other. He was barely grown, and he helped raise his little sister Darlene. First in his family to go to college. 33 years in the Air Force, active and reserve. He was a military lawyer. He was in Congress in 1994, in the Senate in 2002, and for a while, the dash looked good. This man stood next to John McCain when it cost him. He worked on immigration reform when his own base called him a traitor for it. Can you imagine? He worked across the aisle on climate when Republicans got primaried for saying the word. This is what makes this episode hard, and this is why we're doing it. Lindsey Graham was not a man who never knew better. He was a man who knew better, and we can prove it because he told us out loud on camera with dates. So what are the receipts? December 8th, 2015. Some of you may have already seen this. He's talking about Donald Trump. He's a race-baiting, xenophobic, religious bigot. He doesn't represent my party. Those are Lindsey Graham's words, not mine. Well, they're my words too, because he still is that. Donald Trump, that is. May 2016. He posted this: if we nominate Trump, we will get destroyed, and we will deserve it. And then Trump won. And Lindsey Graham looked at the man he called a bigot and picked up his golf clubs. You want to call that growth? Fine. Watch what happens next. Justice Scalia dies in an election year. Graham blocks Obama's nominee and says, quote, "I want you to use my words against me. If there is a Republican president and a vacancy occurs in the last year of his first term, you can say Lindsey Graham said, let's let the next president make that nomination. Use my words against me." He begged us to. September 2020, Ruth Bader Ginsburg dies. 6 weeks before the election. Same situation. Same senator. What did he do? He rammed the nomination through. Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed 8 days before the election. His explanation? The rules have changed as far as I'm concerned. The rules change, not the principle, the convenience. November 2020. Georgia's Republican Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, says Graham called him during the recount and floated tossing out legally cast mail-in ballots. Graham called that characterization ridiculous. A Georgia grand jury wanted his testimony badly enough that it went to the Supreme Court. You can decide who you believe, but note whose account required a subpoena fight. Then, January 6, 2021, the Capitol is attacked. And that night, on the Senate floor, Lindsey Graham finds his spine one more time. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough. For one night, the dash flickered. May 2021, 4 months later. Same man. Can we move forward without President Trump? The answer is no. We can't grow without him. Count me out, count me back in. And the last chapter, the war years. May 2023, in Kyiv, he tells Zelensky, the aid is the best money we've ever spent. And in the same meeting, the Russians are dying. October 2023, on Gaza, we are in a religious war. Do whatever the hell you have to do to defend yourselves. Level the place. May 2024, on national television, he reaches for Hiroshima and Nagasaki, calls them the right decision as the model. Cities full of civilians, that was the example. He died 3 days after his last trip to a war zone. The wars outlived him. They always do. Now, the Steelman. Let's be fair, because fair is what they never are. His defenders will say politics is compromise, that access is influence, that he stayed close to power to steer it, that the eulogy Trump gave him this week, one of the greatest people and senators I've ever known, proves the friendship was real. Maybe it was real. But here the sentence underneath the sentence. The man he called a race-baiting bigot in 2015 is the man who buried him with praise in 2026. That's not a friendship story. That's a purchase story. The only question is, who bought whom? And the record answers it. That's the mechanism. Nobody sells their whole soul on day one. You lease it out, one reversal at a time. In every loop, there's less of you left to bring back. And before you get comfortable, this isn't just about a senator. Proverbs 22:1 says, a good name is rather to be chosen than great riches. You're building a dash right now. Today, every time you knew better and folded anyway, at your job, in your family, online, you were writing it. So the verdict on the dash of Lindsey Graham, 1955 to 2026. The talent was real. The service was real. The rise from that pool hall in Central South Carolina was real. And no honest person takes it from him. But a dash is not judged by what men could see. It's judged by what he did when he saw it. And Lindsey Graham saw everything. He named the bigotry before anyone, then served it. He set the principle in stone, then broke it in 8 days. He said, count me out, then counted himself back in for tea time. He preached the sanctity of life at home and said, level the place abroad. The verdict is not that he was evil. The verdict is worse. The verdict is he knew better. His own mouth convicts him. And a dash spent knowing better and doing worse is not a legacy. It's a warning label. The Moral Decay Index podcast reads the record. No team jerseys. No permission slips. Comment one thing below. What do you want your dash to say? Be honest. Then go to themoraldecayindex.com and follow this channel, because the next dash we might read might be the one you cheered for. The dash